Hey guys, back with our concluding lecture on Du Bois and Gilman. So I've written their for me, but their key concepts, the veil and androcentric culture, and what we've learned from these people is that the social facts that are geniuses, and make no mistake, I'm not trying to denigrate Marx, Weber, Durkheim, Simmel, any of those people. I mean, they are geniuses. But the reality is they missed things that Du Bois and Gilman found that I think are because if you are in the dominant group, you're going to miss some things. Both of these concepts, the veil and androcentric culture, are things that once they're pointed out to you, they're like, well, of course they're there. And yet they weren't seen by people who were brilliant, which brings us to, I think, a very, very important question. Are these experiences, the way these are generally speaking taught is that they're important ideas that apply in a minority of kind of anomalous cases. When things are going wrong, there is discrimination. And so we do need to understand that, we need to study it, but there is a way that society should be able to function. We ameliorate all of the discrimination, and then society is the way it's supposed to be. And I think that I frame it this way for this reason. We think about discrimination and we think about minorities as the people who are suffering discrimination. But we've made this point a couple of times. The people who are not in the minority are me. Able-bodied, cisgendered, white males. We're less than 30% of the population, which means, is a minority experience really anomalous, or is that the experience that most people have? Are we basing sociological theory, our understanding of the way society, generally speaking, works and affects people, on the majority, the natural, normal default, or are we basing it on a minority whose experience is not the experience that most people have? Most people who are watching this video are going to wake up and see the world through a veil. Be aware of the fact, whether it's, and I use the veil here, I'm using Du Bois's term, but I'm using it to apply to women too, because the experience of a woman, again, I'm not telling you something you don't know. I'm just kind of saying what you know is not this weird, arcane, specific, and obscure knowledge. It's knowledge that's common to everybody who doesn't look like me. And I think that this week of Du Bois and Gilman should make us at least question whether or not we should think about there being a normal way society works that doesn't involve discrimination for most people. Because there's a lot to suggest based on these two geniuses and their concepts that they brought, that the normal experience, what we have been told is normal and non-anomalous, is really the anomaly. All right, that's it for this week. And unfortunately, I will try to keep bringing this stuff up, but unfortunately, we're going to dive back into white men. I will try to keep bringing this stuff back up, but you should also hold me accountable for that, because I am right now saying this strikes me as being a pretty persuasive argument that we have built society on flawed foundations, not on untrue foundations, because I buy what Marx said, and I buy what Durkheim said, I buy what all those people said. But it also strikes me that Gilman's saying, yeah, you know what though? Gender comes before all that. That's pretty persuasive. So I will try to keep injecting those ideas into what's going to come in the future, because what's going to come into the future is going to be sociology as usual a little bit. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be brilliant, to be honest with you. I mean, we've got incredible things coming up, but it's stuff that is going to be written by people who, for the most part, are white men and are going to see their experience as sort of the norm in society when the reality it isn't. All right. That's it. I will see you guys next week.